2021. Honorable Chair.
Proceed.
Okay, thank you, Chair. The other one is on the question by the Honorable Senator for Nakuru about the nature of development committee member. These are according to Section 57 of the Physical and Land Use Planning Act. Honorable Chair, the issue of an incinerator is not a small development because it has a lot of issues concerning health, especially since it was to be used for medical waste, incineration of medical waste. So the county took it without of exception. But again, it was also seen that there was a purported approval, which, as we said before, was not given by the county government, and which, upon investigation, we realized that even the receipts purporting to have been issued by the county were actually forgeries. So it was not a small development. It may be small by the physical magnitude, but by the environmental impact, it had tremendous implications. I would just wish to state that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Now let me call the County Secretary, Mr. Maura.
Thank you, Chair. I would wish to respond on a few issues. One of them is the purported deaths of people emanating from the issues of the hospital. Would request that the hospital, who the complainant through this committee, they give us the name of the persons, the date, the time and the venue of death, and probably the postmortem report, so that we can verify with the Register of Deaths and persons in Nakuru. Further, if there's any complaint to the medical and dentist council, because one of the directors is a doctor and the matron is a nurse, they ought to report to the medical council any harassment of patients because they have the mandate to investigate. On the issue of security, the security of patients between Annex and War Memorial was not about the physical fence. Point, PGH Annex could not even construct a toilet for patients. This had been given to War Memorial. There was a question on who Dr. Peter Mbaye is in their compound. There was an issue that we should rely on the documents from the previous. I want to confirm that one of the documents annexed is a letter to NLC by the previous county secretary. Medical record. I also want to confirm in record we have the application that was done by War Memorial being declined.
I think we may have exhaustively responded.
The questions by
directors, I think that has been responded.
It has been partially responded to. The question by Senator Nyotu was the two find themselves there. What was their role in that? Respond to when were they removed? I think there's a matter there that has not been answered.
Chair, as the history was very well stated earlier on how this hospital was given to this group in a public trust to take care of the returning war veterans. The fact that it was still a public trust is why the two directors, one representing then the provincial commissioner, that was the administrative system then, and the other, I believe they called the provincial health officer, medical officer. Yes, so that now was the representation of the public into this trust because it was not a private entity. Now, Chair and honorable members, that is the gist of our argument, is that they then, granted you have said we step down on the forgeries and the fraudulent acts, they then proceeded to change it from a public trust into a private limited company, which is why we are, and dropped the two representatives of the public within that organization, the public, the regional, now would be the regional commissioner perhaps, and whoever it would be for the health. So that they then changed the directors, and that is why when we were reading the documents, the CR12s from previously to the non-true one now, I don't know, I'm trying not to use the word forgery or fraudulent, but to one that we state is not accurate or is not true. They dropped those and put in new directors without any, therefore changing the hospital from being one under public trust into one that is a personal limited, private limited company. However, Dr. Murema, if in a minute you can just say something to that effect. You have a bit of the history.
Upon devolution, would have expected that with the new configuration of the represent health, like Director of Medical Services, the county, and probably the county having anyone representing the interests of the public in the current dispensation of ownership of the hospital. Thank you, Chair.
There are still two more. Senator, you'll have to hold because members have to ask their questions. So just hold on. There are two questions that have not been answered by Senator Nyotu. Senator Nyotu asked that why was there a takeover in spite of the fact that there was a court order? And the other question was from Senator Nyotu whether there was a legal basis for the takeover.
Oh, thank you, Chair. Yeah, we are trying to make sure we don't miss anything. Proceed, Wakili. Briefly, so you don't be too detailed.
And maybe so that you don't go missing. I can see the CC Health Disaster that they are not answering comfortably. Now, can you take the questions on behalf of your governor? List them when they are being asked. Yes, and you can be sharing the list so that they tick one by one.
Chair, Senator Nyotu has rightly pointed that there was a takeover that was done by the county. It follows the cancellation of the lease upon a complaint being made and the land registrar Nakuru having cancelled the lease that was then granted to Nakuru War Memorial Hospital Limited.
Through the chair, where is the cancellation in your documents?
I'm not sure whether it was attached, but Senior Counsel, it forms the basis of the dispute in JR7.
Does anybody have a copy here?
It is actually attached in the documents. There is a notice. I think there is somewhere I saw it. Maybe
we have a copy.
As the
I haven't seen it.
County Secretary.
We have a copy.
Let me.
You can have a copy if you have.
We have a copy.
Of the cancellation.
This purported cancellation is B. I think I have it here.
I don't know why the two parties like using the word purported. And you are not the authors of this document, so I don't know why you...
But it states it was on the basis of loss of a certificate. And it was not lost, we had it.
You know, Director and Nakuru County, you know if you are not the author of the document, just leave it as it is, just make reference to that document. You know? So as the County Secretary looks at that, so that you can answer the next question for Senator Nyotu, even if there was notice cancelling the extension, is it the extension or issuance of the new lease? So if you cancel the extension, where is the base? Where does it refer back to? I'm just asking.
Thank you, Chair. That is a valid question. A cancellation has happened. There is a vacuum that is presented. Schedule 4 of the Constitution kicks in on the question of the health function, and basically the party that the Constitution has granted the mandate for management and running of the health function. And that is why the governor, when she made a presentation, had introductory statements that spoke to the role of the county insofar as promoting and actually facilitating the health processes. So as a result of the vacuum, and due to the fact that, and the Senator mentioned that, of course, there is a humanity aspect, the hospital could not remain as it is because the occupants clearly did not have a legal right to be there. So the county then had to come in, and I'm very disturbed with the fact that it is being called a raid because the events that were there were nothing close to a raid. It was actually a legal takeover as a result of the vacuum.
Senator Chimera.
Maybe on the lease. Can I hear from War
Senator
Memorial?
Mogeni, you know
Okay.
there is a chair for this
Sorry,
session,
sorry.
so you cannot just pick your mic and begin saying you want to hear.
I just wanted to follow on the lease.
Please,
Please,
now
sir.
you'll have to hold on.
Okay.
You are a senior member of this committee, some things is not expected. Senator Chimera, you can ask your questions, followed by Senator Amida, then we can come back to Senator Mogeni.
Chair, we've consulted with Senator Amida, and I would wish to yield my space. Amida asked, then I'll ask after Amida, because she wants to leave.
Senator Amida, of course it is not your discretion in the order of questions being asked. Senator Amida.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Senator Chimera. Mine are very few questions, Chair. Just wondering whether the county government made any efforts to reach out to the management to iron out issues before all this happened. And also, what is the interim arrangement as for now? Was there any public notices issued, Madam Governor, given to the public to allow for a smooth transfer of patients? Because I can see their claims that they're even talking about several patients died and many were denied access, and also, you know, a dead body that disappeared. So with these claims, maybe you may need to respond to allegations of harassment of hospital management, staff and patients during the eviction. Thank you, Chair.
Senator Chimera.
I have two questions to the governor, direct ones, and then two questions to this other side, which might be a bit engaging because the flow depends on how they answer the first question. So please indulge me on that. Governor, first question is, there was a Gazette notice dated the 19th of May 2023 that I'll use the same word you are using, purportedly sought to cancel the issuance of that new lease. In my understanding, was there any objection from the Nakuru Memorial Hospital as to that Gazette notice, if any, and is it documented? Secondly, there's also a letter that was authored by the immediate former governor, the county secretary to that former regime, dated 15th of March 2022, that basically sought to revert this particular parcel of land from the hospital to now the county government because of the lease having had expired. Was that said letter made aware to the hospital or the board of trustees of that hospital? Those are two direct questions. The questions I have to the board of trustees of the hospital relates to the procedure on acquisition of the lease. And perhaps this would be much more within the purview of the advocates, because I know your clients might not understand the procedure. What is the first thing you do as an applicant while you're seeking?
Senator Chimera, you cannot say that the clients don't understand. How did you measure their level of understanding? Can you
my apologies, because I felt it is within my.
Can you withdraw that statement? Just
I withdraw, Chair. I withdraw and apologize.
Please proceed.
What is the first thing an applicant who seeks to renew his lease does, even before everything else? What is the first thing an applicant does? Counsel, perhaps, before I go to my next question.
You can respond to that question so that...
It's a very straightforward question, Counsel. It is something you do every day as a practitioner. The first port of call an advocate does when you are seeking to renew a lease, what is it that you do?
Basically, you have to give out notification to that effect.
You have to?
Give out notification.
In form of what? Is there a form you fill?
Yes.
Which form is that?
I can't recall the...
I can help you. It's a Form 2A, Form LA 23.
Sure.
Which is basically an application to renew a lease. Was that form filled by you? And if yes, is it before this committee?
Something you need to appreciate in relation to this matter, and as clearly
Council,
submitted.
my question is fairly direct. You've confirmed before this committee that the first thing you do, which we all agree, you fill in a form LA23.
That is
Was
true.
that form filled? Yes or no? If yes, is that form before this particular Senate committee?
There's something you need to appreciate in relation to the submissions done by my client.
Mm-hmm.
We are not the councils who did the renewal of the lease, as it has been rightly indicated.
So you don't know, you're not aware if it was filled or not?
And secondly, any other form that was filled or not filled has been filed before court, and we are waiting the outcome of the same.
Council, you're not answering the question. And Chair, perhaps you need to guide me because, Council is attempting to hide under the sub judice rule to answer my question.
Oh, sorry.
Can I attempt to respond?
Before you attempt to respond, some questions that I asked, they are only, you need to give the right answers.
Mm-hmm.
2, you may not have all the documents, even if you are not the councils who prepared, but you are working for the same client. If you don't have documents and now, you can always ask to submit them later if they are there.
Yes.
Since your clients are here, they must also be knowing whether the documents were filled or not. So that we don't go round in circles. So we would like just make sure you just respond so that we can finish. Senator Esi.
In as much as you're responding, Senator Chimera is assuming all of us are lawyers. Whatever is probing the council on that end, I don't think other members of this committee who do not have legal knowledge understand what Senator Chimera is trying to find out from him. That's why I said some of these issues, I think the National Lands Commission is better placed to interrogate and give a correct verdict, because the moment we get in there, we are going to be on a fishing expedition.
Senator Esi, you are out of order. You are completely out of order. Who has told you we as members of those committees don't understand?
I personally then don't, because he has legal knowledge and what he's asking, I'm not able to get the document he's asking about.
Thank you very much. Now, when you can't, we just ask for the documents, but you don't make sweeping statements that the members of the committee. I am making a ruling, Senator Esi. If the documents are available, they can be submitted. But because the director has opted to respond to that question, maybe, Director, you can respond.
Yes, I think I have a response because I am the one who signed the instructions to our lawyer to start the process of the extension of lease. And I have that document here. I have attached it. I signed it. The lawyer who did it is not here. He is Wachira and Company advocate. He is actually a Speaker of the County Assembly of Nyandarua currently. He will be best placed to explain the process he followed. I think that is...
Just now, we are not talking about the process. We are just asking for some government document that is supposed to be available and initiate the process. So I think we're...
For War Memorial Hospital, which you have not answered. I have noted them.
Yeah, you will be given the opportunity. That's why I want Senator Chimera to finalize on it so that we can give you opportunity to respond.
Chair, just before I go to my second question, can you confirm this Wachira and Company advocate is Wachira Waiganjo? Is it the same advocate?
No, Wachira Waiganjo is different. He is my lawyer.
Because I'm seeing some documents filed by Wachira Waiganjo.
Wachira.
Okay, fair enough. But may the record reflect that they did not attach any document insofar as Form LA23 is concerned, yet the advocates on record are agreeing with me that that's the first port of call you do. Secondly, Chair, there was also a letter dated the 6th of February 2020 by the physical planner on behalf of the county government, I think Mr. Collins Agola, that basically sought to explain to the applicant, being the Nakuru Memorial War Hospital, that there was a conflict on that parcel of land as you sought to renew your lease. Was that letter responded to? And if yes, where is that response? Is it before this same committee?
I have a copy of that letter. First,
Is it in your bundle of documents you've supplied as an annexure?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Can you point me to that particular annexure?
It will take a bit of time because I have so many questions. But once I get it, I'll put it.
You know, you were very clear in labeling SHP1, SHP what, and
Yes,
explaining what it is.
I know it is.
I am
somewhere.
shocked you're not able to really explain this as per your annexure.
Yes.
You were very good in referring us to other documents, certificate of lease, receipts, extension, but you're not able to
I need some time to look for that letter. I have a bunch going for 100 pages. So I need
Senator
to look for
Chimera,
that.
you know you cannot be asking in 1 microsecond and expecting a response in another millisecond, and you say, wow. I mean, we have to be fair enough.
The document is...
This is what I'm going to give direction, Director.
Yes.
Get one of your parties there to get a copy of that letter. First, part of your question has been answered, Senator Chimera.
Yes, yes.
That they indeed received the letter from the fiscal planner saying there is a dispute on the land.
Right.
And you responded. So one of your people there can get in your document where you have that response so that we can refer to the senator to that section. Now, let me also now give you opportunity. There are a couple of questions that have been asked to Nakuru Memorial Hospital. So you can take this opportunity to answer those questions. Then we come back to Governor to answer the remaining before we pick the next questions from the senators.
Yes. Thank you, Chair. One of the reasons why I'm having difficulties getting his letter is because I'm holding on other letters that are explaining multiple questions that we have been asked. One of them was the question of trust. And we can state clearly from our records, even the company records, we don't have any mention of trust in all our records. It's actually a figment of somebody's imagination because really having a PMO, which is a provincial medical officer, having a PC, provincial commissioner, does not in any way convert a company into a public company from private. That is just like saying because I was the chair of the board of management of Bavuni Secondary School and it's a public school.
You know, we'll make progress if we can clarify some of these issues.
PMO.
As he presents, because you're saying having a PC and
yes,
a provincial medical a difference. With the permission of the chair, I wanted you to, you know, you're mentioning something about I've seen 2 certificates of lease. One is issued to Nakuru War Memorial Hospital. Okay?
Yes.
Then there is a new one which has come in, Nakuru War Memorial Hospital Limited.
Correct.
Okay?
Yes.
I know you are not a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer, but I'll explain.
But in your understanding,
yes,
are those 2 different entities?
Pardon me, can you allow me to finish the last?
No,
comment?
I just wanted to understand.
I stopped the trust issue.
So that you can enlighten me whether those, you see, one is Nakuru War Memorial Hospital, the other one is Nakuru War Memorial Hospital Limited.
Thank you.
And I've seen the one with limited does not have any public official as a director.
Right.
So, you know, I'm just trying to be brought to speed.
With your permission?
Yeah.
Can I explain? Okay, just before I explain, allow me to say the trust does not make it public. If you form a trust, it doesn't make it government. Okay, now, limit, you know, company limited by guarantee. Yeah, it's limited. You just need to type on Google, company limited by guarantee. You see it fits exactly what is Nakuru War Memorial Hospital. No
Final
shares.
question. So you are the trust
Can
and
you
the
allow
company.
me to?
As you answer, I just want, you know me, I'm just trying to get, and the
It is not a trust. It has never been a trust.
Okay, between the hospital and this new entity limited, who applied for extension of lease.
It is not a new entity. You see, the certificate of incorporation, we came from government, it is in government records. 1923, the Nakuru War Memorial Hospital was a company limited by guarantee. It was limited, it's actually written limited. 1923, certificate of incorporation. It's actually the trust they are talking about. It's not recorded trust written on any document referring to War Memorial Hospital. It was a company limited by guarantee as opposed to a company limited by shares. We do not own any shares in that company. So company limited by shares is different from company limited by guarantee. That is something that is legal. You can actually check.
I think you're making good progress. So when was it registered, this company?
1923. We have the certificate of incorporation.
Of registration?
Yes.
So it was Nakuru War Memorial Limited?
Yes, Nakuru War Memorial Limited. A company with zero shares for directors. Zero shares.
But the certificate of lease is issued to Nakuru
War Memorial
Hospital.
Yes. And I submit that if...
No, I don't need to submit. I just want to understand that there is a title for Nakuru War Memorial Hospital.
Yes.
And then you have a certificate for Nakuru War Memorial Limited.
Yes, the new registration.
Okay. It's okay, no problem.
The new registration, the extension of lease, we actually insisted on it reflecting limited because we were under a lot of pressure to grab the land, okay, from individuals. So we wanted it. It's a misspelling of Senator Madago's name. It doesn't mean he ceases to exist. 1923, we are not the ones who made that document. If they made that the company ceases to exist, okay? And also, the other errors we have been trying to remove.
To answer. You have explained, just move the next question.
The other point is that the PMO and PC were removed by the Constitution of Kenya 2010. There were no more provinces, so there was no provincial commissioner, and there was no way we could have him as a director. Also, you of all people know that if you do not attend so many meetings for 14 years, you are not attending, you cease to be a director. Okay, now, the other point is there was a point about the burning furnace. It's a very simple explanation. What was going on with the burning furnace? Sometime in February last year, I personally called members of the county, senior member of the county government, and told them, because you see, they were telling us they are going to close the hospital because we are burning trash in the open. So I personally called, and the person who received was a Mr. Wainaina. And after they got to know, the next thing we got, we are going to close the hospital because you don't have you're burning trash in the open. So then we applied officially, and we can show records that we paid the county government of Nakuru to develop a burning chamber, a separate one, because we had constructed another one in 1921, okay? And the records are there, which they have taken forcefully. Now we are not able to burn trash where in the burning chamber that we had constructed. So they took forcefully, and now are demanding that we should not burn trash. So we then started constructing. We had approvals, which we are going to prove in court, and then they came and stopped. Okay, then that's the next question was...
Director, you know court and parliament are two different institutions.
I understand.
What we shall be asking you is you submit
yes,
the copies of approvals
yes,
and the evidence of payment.
Yes.
Proceed.
Right now?
No. We'll give you time when you conclude.
We will produce that. Yes. That one we will produce. We have them, by the way. We are not running away from that fact. The gap between the two attacks, there was a small gap when the hospital was reopened, and we continued offering services, just like before. And then the attack came later. And a second attack came, despite having court orders, not only barring them from cancelling the title, but also barring them from investigating the title. But they went ahead and started investigating the title. Then there was a question of the medical council. We have actually made a report to the medical council, all the atrocities that were committed. We have made a report. We may not have the records here. We were not aware that we were supposed to bring them, but we have made a report to the medical council. The other question was the Gazette notice they quoted, loss of title and therefore the title is cancelled. Okay, there was that question.
You know, Director, that question you are never asked. I think you have written things you want to respond to the county government of Nakuru away from the questions the senators have asked. So I'll ask you to stop there.
How about
so that we allow Senator Tabitha.
Are in charge. More radio, 88.2 FM. We 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 are in charge. More radio, 88.2
The governor, as the head of health, will either go in person or send or the medical officer in charge of health in the county government.
A competent court will determine.
So those 2 points are irrefutable. So the 2 questions I would like to ask is one to the governor. Of all the things that the county government has said, I've heard them repeat only, you entered the place forcefully and did bad things. And in bullet 18, you've told us you did it peacefully. So if you could just explain what took place on that day, that rests their concern. My next question is for counsel of the hospital. The governor has demonstrated to us, to an extent, and I hope we shall not go into manenos of sub judice, that the court that gave that particular order is not competent. It has no jurisdiction. As a lawyer, do you agree that the Environment Court should give an order which you should rely on to come and defend the hospital before the Senate? I would be happy to hear that. And Mr. Roger, my Roger and the matron, please don't distort the history of medical services in this country. When you try to rely on the fact that the War Memorial Hospital was started in 1921 and that it was a whites-only hospital, please don't go there. In 1921, yes, the hospital in Nakuru was started. In 1922, the hospital in Machakos, provincial hospital, was started. And in 1926, the provincial hospital in Kakamega was started. All of them were former barracks for soldiers returning from the World War. And then a decision was made by the administration that they be converted into dispensaries and health centers. The fact that President Kenyatta went into the hospital and told people, stop it, allow the public to be part of it, he was doing, at that time, what the governor is doing now. The governor wants the public of Nakuru to enjoy the services in the Memorial Hospital. Why do you want it to be reserved for people who are able to pay better than the Mama Mboga in Nakuru? So if you must expect our support, give us the facts. You don't have them, matron. You're just complaining how people are mistreated. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Now, so that we don't lose responses, I think we shall allow them to respond to that before we get back to Senator Karanja. So let's start with the governor. Explain the peaceful nature.
Thank you, Chair. I almost wanted to say, can we just stop it there with Senator Dr. Halwale's submissions, because he just really cut to the crux of the case. But be as it may, let me begin by having Dr. Mwaura, who is the County Secretary, respond on the peaceful transfer.
Thank you, Chair. I want to confirm that the first incident, which has been called an attack, I led the team that went into the hospital. I want to confirm that I'm a trained pharmacist in good standing, and I know the requirements of treating patients and ethics around it. And
County Secretary, you say you're a pharmacy of good standing. Well, good standing means what? If you want to make that assertion here, I'll take you to standing order number 105, and you submit your current registration. Proceed.
I'm well guided, Chair. I want to say on that particular day, we moved in with 5 medical doctors to take care of the patients. We moved in with critical care nurses to take care of the patients. We moved in with anesthetists, because we knew there are some patients who were in the ICU. And we had the general nurses, we had a number of 23 nurses who are more than the number of patients who were admitted in that facility. We took care of those patients, and until they decided, and we called the doctors who had admitted them to make a decision. Some of them transferred them to Annex Hospital, which is a government facility, and others were transferred to other facilities. I want to confirm the second so-called attack was not an attack also, and we never took over the facility. What we did, and I was in charge of that process again, is that after the arrest of the directors, we issued a caution to the public in public, and the media was there, and cautioned them again to probably transfer their patients or talk to their doctors to be sure that the quality of care continues being there, because there wasn't a management. However, there was a patient who had been referred from PGH Annex to War Memorial, and the relatives came complaining that the patient had been held hostage for about 15 hours. And when she asked the War Memorial Hospital whether the patient is there, they said the patient is not there. So we requested the management to open for the patient, for the relative to be accompanied by a doctor, to go and confirm if the patient was there. And the patient was found there, and the patient, the relative requested that the patient be discharged from War Memorial to Annex Hospital. So there was no attack, we never moved in, there was no second move in. It was simply an issue of issuing cautionary to the public, and also requesting War Memorial to release a patient who came to us to complain, and that patient is there, and that patient has recorded statement. Thank you.
I will have one supplementary question for you before we go to Nakuru Memorial. If you moved in with that contingent of health personnel, what was then the necessity to transfer to ask for patients to be moved?
Again, we are giving the patient a choice, since we moved in with our medics to take care of the patients. But the patients, like it's always, it's a choice for a patient. You're supposed to give a patient a choice. And actually, we also called all their doctors to come in and look after their patients. So we didn't transfer patients.
Did their doctors come in?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Director, you can respond to the questions that were asked by Senator Boni Khalwale.
Oh, he has gone. He's
for the governor. I don't know whether we can respond to it.
As he is consulting, our position as the hospital is that we were attacked. That is the position we hold.
I've asked you to respond to
I can see he is consulting.
You don't have to wait. I've given you direction.
Okay, thank you. I start guided. The hospital, we stand by our records, and we stand by the government records that it was a company incorporated in 1923, and it was a private company in this country. And while we do appreciate, because in Nakuru we also have the previous PGH, Provincial General Hospital, which is now having a different name, that hospital serves the public very well. It is very near, actually. And there was no need to take over the private hospital, because it has been running as a private hospital, recognized for over 100 years. It was a private hospital. That is why it was issued with a lease by the government of Kenya for 99 years. And you know, according to Article 64, once you have a lease, then it is private land. Article 64 of the Constitution. That is private land, recognized by the government of Kenya. So our position is it was not a trust company. It was not a public company. The land was not public. It was private, Article 64. And that if it was to expire the lease, then of course to revert back to the people of Kenya, because land in Kenya belongs to the people of Kenya, not the government, the people of Kenya. That is the Constitution.
Senator Boni, and then we go to, we had held Senator Tabita, so Senator Omogeni, you'll wait. Then we allow Senator Boni one only statement, and then Senator Omogeni.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, we don't want to argue with our witnesses. We are receiving information from you. That trust where the provincial commissioner was sitting and the PMO was signifying public interest. If you want to talk about whites only hospital, you know the history, you're a doctor like me. At Nairobi Hospital, the provincial commissioner of Nairobi from 1954, when it was started, has never sat on that board because it's a purely private hospital. Let's not mix issues. Just articulate your issues. Ask us to give you what you deserve, not to deny the public in Nakuru their ownership of War Memorial Hospital.
I think, Senator Boni, we have received their response, so we shall deal with them as a committee. Senator Tabita?
If I may interject, there was a question for me, I recall, from Boni Kalwal.
Okay, it's okay. Yeah, I think mine is just a response on Dr. Mwaura. You know, those are cameras.
Senator Davida.
It's a question.
Yours is to ask questions, you cannot respond.
It's a question to Dr. Mwaura. Because I know those are cameras, they are live, and when you say that the dead, we should ask their families to get the post-mortem, I think that one you should approach. You don't know, but when you look at the response, I'm going. The response from the governors.
Let me give guidance. You cannot give directions on behalf of the committee. That's one. And you needed to have had the county secretary clearly. The county secretary asked that there are people who died. They just want proof. It's not the families to go into a postmortem. It's to get the records, if there were any postmortem, to ascertain the cause of death and probably where the death occurred. So there's nothing for the county secretary to withdraw. So please ask your question.
Okay. Then when you look at the response from the governor's document, there's a paragraph 26. She has, the county assembly, I think the one that was sent to go and check that forceful takeover, they've already claimed that they discovered 2 people died. So there are people who died in Nakuru out of that forceful transfer. That one you cannot bury it under the sand. Even the county government has confirmed that when she sent, the county government sent the MCAs, I think member of the MCAs, the committee for health, I think in the county assembly, they confirmed that the 2 people.
Which page is that?
It's a paragraph 26. I think this thing has no pages. There's no page. It has 6. Bullet 26. It's just written bullet 26. Bullet 26. The county was unceremoniously evicted. I think it's the county. They are claiming they are unceremoniously evicted out of the hospital amidst a transitional crisis that led to the loss of innocent lives despite deploying health workers, all this while to administer health services to the patients in the hospital.
Point of order, Chair. Point of order.
And then, let me finish. And then, according to the county government, they took over the hospital after the arrest of the directors. According to what I know, the directors don't learn, or they are no doctors. So they are talking of their 300 health workers that run that War Memorial Hospital. So that takeover, here is not or take over. The hospital can be taken over by the county government, Dr. Arwale, no problem. But why did we have that forceful takeover where 6 lives, we lost 6 lives of our Kenyans, innocent Kenyans, and nobody given to the people to decide where to go?
Senator Tabita, because you are a senator and you know, standing on the 105, responsibility of statement of fact. We may require as a committee evidence that 6 people died, but let's leave it at that. But I want you to respond, Governor,
Chair, it's important.
Just a minute before you come in. You have also been a senator and you know you have to wait. The lucky thing is both of you have been senators, so we really don't have a problem in matters of procedure. There is a specific reference. The senator for Nakuru has made a document, and it's your own document. Well, I was trying to get myself the section of that. I don't know whether County Secretary you have found that section.
Chair, that's what I'm wanting to respond to, if you don't mind.
First, let's get...
It's not our document.
Let's just get clarification. It's important.
Can we see it?
Maybe when... Senator is making reference to a response you had given earlier. Is actually from the response was dated February 20, 2023. Unfortunately, most of your statements are not signed, Governor. We'll have to sign. I think our last clerk meantime, they can share with the council as you respond to other questions so that you can verify.
As she's checking, may I ask if that's part of what was admitted today? Because I don't have that at all. So unless we are talking to something from a previous question or something, some different issue. But as of what we have today, whatever facts she's stating, they are inaccurate. There is no such thing. And I wanted that noted on the record.
Senator Essie?
Do we have any video evidence of maybe the conduct of the visit?
There is a video that has been submitted, but you know we have to subject it to the processes so that the committee can first take. We are supposed to do the first verification through the normal process. So you can respond to the other issues, Governor. You found the document?
No, I was going to say, Chair, very respectfully, what has been asked of us as the county government of Nakuru are 3 letters that we have responded to, and all of them are actually included in this document that was tabled today. Because the allegations by the senator are really serious, it is important that we ascertain or definitely make sure that the committee understands whatever she is reading. I don't know where that is from. It's not from today, and there is nowhere where we have accepted anybody dies, because we still hold nobody died, and that is why we are asking. Since they are alleging, then they need to provide the proof. We can't just whip emotions, Chair. We must provide facts.
Thank you very much. I think that matter you leave to us as a committee. We shall make a ruling. But let me also inform you, Governor, that when submissions have been made by email and letters have gone to the clerk and received, they become also part and parcel of properties of the Senate, and the Senate and the committee can make references because it was a live matter. So we shall definitely check whether those documents were received at the clerk's office, as shown by the senator, and we shall give you feedback on that matter. So I think we shall do our responses in writing. Honorable members, is there anybody still with any other question on these matters? There was one question that was to be answered by the council. You had something. I don't want to close you out. There's something you wanted to...
Excuse, Chair. Am I...
no, well, I'll not allow you, Senator Mogeni. Let's just listen to counsel for... Yeah, are you the counsel or the director?
To the effect that the court has been established as incompetent. Is out of order, given the fact that no ruling has been made to the effect that that court has no jurisdiction. They are questioning the veracity of the order, given the provisions of Section 13 of the land. Yet, the order is in relation to...
You know, Council, we don't want to go to the details. You just made your point.
It is okay.
That section, and it is well noted.
Okay, lastly, the issue in relation to the CR12. There are 2 CR12s, Mr. Chair. You have to appreciate one thing. We keep on quoting one CR12. There are 2 CR12s, yet to be determined, or rather, the authenticity of both are yet to be determined. While you make your ruling, kindly consider that effect. There are 2 CR12s.
Definitely, there's no ruling we are making. Our work is to receive information. We are going to look at all of them. Where, as a committee, we want to verify, definitely we shall not get back to you to ask you. We shall go back to the authors, of the documents. Is a function for the committee. Senator Omogeni.
Yeah, Chair, I just wanted to confirm because you are a leader and some allegations have been made here that are Is it true that you gave patients 3 options? Either they go home.
In charge. More radio. We are in charge. More radio. 88.2 FM. We are in charge. More radio. 88.2 FM. We are in charge. More radio.
Read your document. And you say that you opted to go to Nairobi and obtain an extension. So I presume you are getting an extension of the lease. Now, maybe you're not a lawyer. In my days, they used to have a form called LA22 that used to be filled in the National Land Commission offices at county level. So I just wanted to know from you, did you go through the National Land Commission county offices, or it's the way you put it here that you opted to travel to Nairobi? And in my days, they used to say, if it's an extension, you are basically seeking time extension for the same proprietor over the same land. Maybe if each of you can make those clarifications for me, where you sought the extension, whether it was in Nakuru, County National Land Commission offices, or you traveled direct to Nairobi and sought the extension. Thank you, Chair.
Let's start with Nakuru War Memorial.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you for that question. As I said before, what happened is that we tried to get extension of lease in Nakuru County, and we found we were getting a dead end. Everywhere we go, you pay for everything that you're told, pay this, you get approval here, get approval, then somehow things go to a dead end and nobody is talking to you, nobody is sending any message to you, no letter has ever been sent to us to explain why they're not willing to extend the lease. And therefore, we decided to appoint a lawyer, okay, Wachira Waigajo, who is the current county speaker of Nyandarua. And he used his experience. We are not experts as directors, we just gave him the job, and I explained to him, we have a document explaining, this is SHP 20, explaining how we give the instructions. Once he did it, once he did what he did, then we were told it has been approved, and we just signed all the documents, and we finally got the lease signed by the registrar of Nakuru County, Mr. Nyamu. So once we got that, now on our side, we had no reason to doubt the process. And therefore, we cannot be able to answer because we are not that lawyer. We cannot be able to answer in terms of the process. But what we are complaining about is that if you have appointed a doctor to treat somebody and you feel that doctor is not doing well, there is an allegation of some error he made, it is unfair to be arrested yourself. The directors were arrested for a crime they never committed because they appointed a professional.
Well, thank you, Chair. I have two very quick answers that had been left hanging. So if you allow me, Chair, I'll have Honorable Kihagi here quickly respond to one and Wakili here to another.
Okay, thank you, Chair. It's in regard to Senator Mida's question as to whether we reached out to War Memorial Hospital. It's indeed true, Chair, that we wrote to the consultant appointed by War Memorial Hospital, one Planner James Michoma, to bring forward his client so that we can have a discussion as to why we cannot renew the lease for them. One of the reasons was that if you look at the application that they had done, they had actually clearly said that on the land existed 2 hospitals.
It refers back to where that application, I can see you are referring to the document where?
Yes, Honorable Chair, is page number 22 of the Governor's submission. If you go to page number 1, that is PPA 1. PPA 1 is a Physical Planning Act, form number 1. If you're on page 2, Honorable Chairman, you'll see that they're actually applying for extension of lease. And down there, they are saying, state the purpose for which the land or buildings are now used. And below there, the consultant has indicated that there is a helipad. Honorable Chair, this is a helipad that is used by the President. It's just next to the State House. It covers about 9 acres. And they are actually hospitals. The word there is hospitals. The hospitals here refer to the War Memorial Hospital and also the Provincial General Hospital Annex. Honorable Chair, we reached out and the reply by the consultant, that's NCG 4, that should be page 39, by Planner James Michoma, is that I'm informed by the applicant that my instructions to pursue the development application on their behalf has been withdrawn. I therefore hereby formally withdraw the application. That was the reply by the consultant. The Honorable Chair, besides that, I would wish the committee to note that War Memorial Hospital company, yet their lease was given in 1922. So here is a case of a company owning land before it was actually registered. 1922. Yet the registration was in 1923. The other issue, Honorable Chair, is that if you look at all the documents, the postal address for War Memorial Hospital is shown to be P.O. Box 240, 124 Nakuru. Honorable Chair, this is a postal address for the then Nakuru municipality. And that's why we are saying all indications are that this was a public trust. And the War Memorial, no wonder you find in the initial lease, there's nothing like limited, because by 1922, when the lease was given, War Memorial Hospital Limited did not exist. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Council, in less than 2 minutes, please.
Chair, in 1 minute, just a clarification, noting from the comments of Senator Okongo Mugeni on the question of extension vis-a-vis renewal of a lease. And I think he rightly noted that you cannot purport to extend a lease that has actually expired. Extension is done in dependency of the lease, and that is basically the law. You look at the Land Act and the Land Registration Act. But renewal then comes upon, you can renew if the lease has expired or when it is about to expire. So the committee should have that in mind while looking at the set of documents that are before you.
Now, the Director, 1 minute.
Okay. 1 minute, okay. So I just wanted to clarify what they are saying. One of them is that that document where Nakuru
You cannot clarify what they are saying. You can only respond to questions you have been asked.
Okay.
What they have said, you leave the committee to go and digest. We only give you opportunity. If there's a question, you respond their view. There was a question by Senator Mugeni. Has it been answered?
We wanted to give a position from our perspective.
Director, let's leave it at that. Senator Chimera, 1 minute, and then I will allow Senator Tabita to ask. I think she still has one more question. Then we can.
I had one more for Senator Mugeni.
Okay, you can
mention that you hired Council Waiganjo to obtain your lease. In simpler terms, are you saying it matters not how you obtain it for as long as you obtain it?
Director?
We may not know the law regarding...
No, that is pure English, Director.
Yes,
there's no law there.
What I'm then saying, or what we are saying, is that the lawyer... for an allegation that our lawyer did something wrong. We shouldn't be arrested. You cannot be arrested.
Allow also the witnesses to respond. Governor.
Just a few little things here and there for the committee as you retreat to discuss the issue. There was a question, Chair, on... No, I wanted to point out first, in very general terms, that
Governor,
across the
I
country...
think you hold that process because we shall give you opportunity to make closing remarks.
Okay.
I would like to allow the...
Okay, then let me just...
Before I allow the Senator for Nakuru to ask some supplemental questions he has,
okay.
I can see Patricia. Is it Patricia? Yeah. Anna has been up for quite a while. Let her ask, then I will allow you to do that, Governor. Patricia.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to give some clarification because to me, I still admit that the takeovers...
Please use your mic.
Okay. I still insist that the takeover were raids. The reason one is, if true, it was a normal takeover, I believe since the office is usually open from 8 to 5, the county officials would have come to the hospital, table their issues, and then we hand over the patients and everything in an orderly manner. But the two attacks, Mr. Chair, they happened at night. That is 7:30 p.m. on 27th.
I think you have made your position known.
Yeah.
That the position of the hospital is there were attacks. The position of the county was peaceful. To the committee
Just
to go
one.
and check the
Okay.
facts.
Just one. Again, if they were orderly handing over.
You cannot
then-
proceed on the same subject matter.
Sorry, sir.
Please. Senator Tabitha.
Thank you. I'm happy that I've seen the document I was referring to. The county government has been forwarded to prove to whatever. But there is something that a question in my statement. Number 2. I feel the governor has not explained the reasons for the prolonged closure of the Nakuru War Memorial Hospital and the control of the premises by the county security officials, despite the court order number 36 of 2023, stopping the county government of Nakuru from taking over the management of the hospital pending the determination of the dispute on the management of the hospital.
So, Governor, you can respond to the question by Senator Mogeni and respond to the question number 2 for Senator Tabitha.
Thank you, Chair. On the question by Senator Senior Counsel Mogeni, it was regarding whether I gave 3 options to patients. I'm not sure if we are confusing that with the Mambo ni Matatu, but I honestly never did. I would not have asked, or I would not have harassed those patients, because as clearly you all know, I'm the elected governor of Nakuru. Those are my people. It is also my work to provide, to make sure they have access to health. So it would not be in any way, shape, or form possible for me to go harass those patients or staff. So, and also I would not have said go home or, I don't know, get moved to a specific hospital like the annex. And I believe their third option was the third option? Yeah. So, and that is
go to any hospital of your choice.
And yes, actually, what we did, as the county secretary very well explained, is the peaceful takeover. There were more patients than even the hospital. There were more nurses and doctors that the county used than even what was available at the hospital, which were even more in number than the number of patients, to make sure that the patients were properly handled and their doctors and families informed to discharge or take the patients to any hospitals of their choice. And that is how some of them chose to go to the annex hospital, which is next door. So hopefully, Senator Omogeni, I hope I've answered that. I would never do that. And I would never give such orders. As far as the Nakuru Senator's question on the handover, I did respond to the question, but perhaps you didn't pick that. The county government is not in possession of the Nakuru War Memorial Hospital. The cases are in court. When on the 1st of February 2024, there was a very clear handover. Everybody saw the county commander at the facility with the people from War Memorial Hospital. In fact, I think when I saw the clip, the matron speaking back here was one of them with the keys to go back in there. So the county handed over as based on the court orders. We withdrew our security from the county. And so based on whatever is happening from the 1st of February to now, we are not in control and we don't know. We believe it's actually in possession of the War Memorial Hospital.
Governor, sorry to ask that
Senator,
question.
you only have to ask through the chair.
As we go to Nakuru now, we don't know who is running the War Memorial Hospital. It's not the county government, it's not anybody. So anybody can get in. So if tomorrow we go and demand our hospital, we can be opened for, because the county government is not in possession of the hospital. Maybe that's a question.
Senator, I think that is what the governor stated, that from 1st February, They complied with the court orders, and the hospital was handed back. So it's upon the hospital and whoever was handed back to. I mean, I don't think there is any. Did I hear you well, Governor?
Can I comment?
Melissa?
Chair, you're in fact right, and I want them to recall, because I believe they were represented in court when the Nakuru County Police Commander went back to the court and stated very clearly that the county had handed over and that he had escorted the purported owners here who were actually seen on TV singing and dancing as they took possession. So whatever they have done since then, I'm not in control, Chair.
Can I comment?
We cannot allow comments because we cannot go into arguments. For us is to listen to all the parties. These committees have discretion to visit Nakuru County to check. So you'll allow us as a committee to do our work. What I would like to do now so that we close this session, because we have 2 additional statements. Probably, Senators, if there is anything else before I ask the parties to make their, I give the Director and the Governor 1 minute to make their summary. So if there are none, yes, Senator Esi.
The council from War Memorial said they are not the ones who are present. Maybe, will we have information from the ones who are initially there?
Council knows. And I think even all institutions, when you take over, I mean, it's your responsibility to get the fact that your client must have. There's always handing over. I'm not a lawyer, but I know if Omogeni was having my case and my file, if I move the next certificate, I move with my documents. So it is up to them to satisfy these 2 minutes to make your closing remarks and submission. Then I will allow the Governor, and we shall give.
Professor Kihika said 19 counties in this republic have hired goons running. So there are goons that are running this hospital. We have no access. We tried to get access and we are beaten and the staff are thrown out. The other point I wanted to make is a final comment that I still believe that Constitution at Schedule 4(2), subsection 2, does not allow the county government to take over private hospitals. It is only allowed to take over county health facilities, not private hospitals. That's my position. Thank you.
Governor.
Thank you, Chair. And it is my considered opinion, honorable committee members, that we believe we have made a good enough. People here purporting to be the rightful owners of War Memorial Hospital or not. We stand with our position that, for example, the reason that there was a cancellation of that lease was due to falsification of the process. There was an irregular process there done, and as you can see from the documents submitted, even the lease here, the purported lease here, is not even registered. You have also seen, members of the committee, that there was the provincial medical officer as well as the provincial commissioner included in that initial lease, which by implication obviously means it was public land or public facility. They have since dropped those 2, and it is also clear, and you'll see in the documents as you go back and retreat and review the files with a bit more time, that this purported lease was extended in 2023. In 2020, the lease was extended in 2021, while the company, the limited company they are claiming here, was registered in 2023. So the company was extended for the lease before the company was registered. It's because a lot of it is fraudulent, and I want to point to the committee the fact that all the other war memorial hospitals in this country public institutions. Nakuru is not unique. You have heard Senator Dr. Halwale talk about Machakos and Kakamega. Chair, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know you are also aware that such a similar case happened in Uasin Gishu, where some purported people also tried to take it over, but the county government was able to get back what is for the people. So here, as I finish, your chair and members, when Mr. Director here talks about that we cannot take over private institutions, I would want to make sure that the committee considers the fact that after the new constitution of 2010, when a lease expires, then it reverts back to the government, and in this case, county government, because health is devolved. We know it's a devolved function, and also because they did not follow the due process or the proper process to get a lease extension or a lease renewal. So they must also come in clean hands. You cannot go and forge and use forgery and then come here and try to whip emotions. Let us use the facts. And I will continue, and I submit, Chair, that I will continue to make sure the good people of Nakuru get access to good health care in the county. Thank you.
Honorable members, County Government of Nakuru and Nakuru War Memorial Hospital, we want to thank you for honoring our invitation to the Senate. This committee will consider your submission. Definitely we have some areas we need clarification, and we are going to write to you to make clarification on some matters. We shall also be writing to get clearer copies of some documents, and in this instance, they must be certified. Our instructions will be in writing so that we can operate with clarity. Should we find necessity to reinvite you, we shall do so if there is need for us to do further clarification, but we want to thank you for those presentations. Thank you very much, Senator Funakwa and the team. We have two additional statements for Nakuru County. I will now ask the Nakuru War Memorial team to take leave, because I think the next statements really don't concern you. It's between the county government. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Governor and honorable members, we have two statements pending. It is already 2:45. Certainly we cannot do justice to those two statements because there are matters also that touch on health. I want to give direction that we shall reschedule so that we can listen to the two statements, at least when members are still able to, to make sense of the presentations and be able to even ask. So I'll ask for your indulgence, Governor, and your team. I know you have brought a whole brigade here to deal with all